Man, you already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so recently there was a lot of talk about Lil Durk and Quando Rondo. They allegedly were going back and forth, sneak dissing each other, but weren't any names said. Now, a lot of people took this for what it was and thought that maybe they could be rekindling that beef that they had that's been going on since the passing of King Von, right? Well, it seems like Lil Durk might just be on album mode, and some of the things he's putting out there have nothing to do with Quando Rondo and them. But to be real, the way that he stepped out there and kind of dissed everybody, letting them know if he drops, he can mess up their date, was oddly placed. Like, it was too much of a coincidence that Quando Rondo had recently posted a picture of this album right here, where he has a picture of his homeboy, Lil Pab. Now, Lil Pab lost his life last year in Los Angeles in a drive-by shooting that is yet to be solved. No suspects have been found, and it was a crazy situation how it went down at a gas station. Now, after Quando Rondo posted this album cover, Lil Durk, not too long after that, made a post that said this, right? Now, in this post, Lil Durk was clearly dissing somebody, or clearly putting out the message that he could mess up somebody's release date or the day that they drop. Specifically, he said this: "I could drop this and mess up the streets on God. Your release date ain't safe, son. Letting it be known that he's one of the hottest in the game right now, and if he drops, that can mess up your whole release depending on who you are." A lot of people took this as him going at Quando Rondo because Quando Rondo had recently posted that album cover and in the caption let it be known that he was dropping in a month. And we've seen Lil Durk block Quando Rondo in the past. Reportedly, or I should say allegedly, Lil Durk has bought out, tickets to Quando Rondo shows, got with promoters and kind of told them not to rock with Quando Rondo, or made it seem like a situation where Quando Rondo couldn't get any money in this rap game. But Quando Rondo has always had the support of NBA Youngboy, and it seems like NBA Youngboy is clapping back. Now, in this account that isn't related to NBA Youngboy that we can see, it's being reported on social media that this is NBA Youngboy using a burner account and throwing disrespect back at Lil Durk for coming at Quando Rondo. Now, before we get to the specifics and talk about that post and Lil Durk's response, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Now, one thing's for sure. It seems like Lil Durk is on album mode, and it seems like Quando Rondo is on album mode, but it seems like there's still that overlying beef between these different camps, right? And NBA Youngboy has always come in as kind of like the big brother to Quando Rondo in this whole beef thing. To be perfectly honest, this all started because King Von was allegedly talking to one of NBA Youngboy's baby moms. I know, that sounds ridiculous for someone to lose their life about something that small. But what's crazy about the situation is things have cooled down recently. And yeah, it's been petty, back and forth, a lot of online dissing of the dead and stuff like that. But when it came to success, it seems like Lil Durk started to hit his stride upwards. And as soon as he started trending upwards, it wasn't no stopping him, man. And it seems like Quando Rondo, his career has stagnated. He hit that plateau and he hasn't been able to come back in the game and elevate. Now, with knowledge of him dropping a new album and potentially getting back in the rap scene as a rapper and not seen as a controversial figure, it seemed like it was only right for Lil Durk to come out and diss him since it's his alleged enemy, right? Well, somebody who's clapping back for Quando Rondo allegedly is none other than NBA Youngboy. Now, NBA Youngboy is arguably one of the hottest artists in the rap game. He's got one of the biggest fan bases, got one of the best cult followings out of any rapper in hip hop, and is a competitor to anybody you could think of as far as streams, sales, and things of that nature, right? But him and Lil Durk have definitely not seen eye to eye, and I don't know if that could be repaired like you've seen similar with the NBA Youngboy and Fredo Bang thing. I think it's deeper than what most fans could imagine. Now, when it comes to Lil Durk, he's been vocal, but NBA Youngboy has been vocal as well. So NBA Youngboy allegedly has a burner account out there, and somehow fans found this. And a lot of social media platforms are saying that NBA Youngboy is clapping back at Lil Durk for his comments about his album being able to block other people, him being able to stop somebody else's release date, or him being able to, basically swallow up all the attention on somebody else's release date with that post he put out there, right? And this is allegedly the account in the post that was put out there in response. Now, this is said to be NBA Youngboy. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go out on a limb right now and say this. I don't know how people think this is NBA Youngboy. I see a lot of blogs reporting this and whatnot, but in the post you can see he says this: see me in the streets. Now, basically putting it out there that, yo, see me in the streets. And you see all the views on this post. I think it's 152,000 at the time that I took this screenshot. But it looks like, a lot of people believe this is NBA Youngboy clapping back at Lil Durk. And he's basically disrespecting him, telling him to kiss his you-know-what and to see him in the streets. Now, that's the last thing that we want, man, is more bloodshed in hip-hop. Rondo and his team has already felt the effects of this ongoing beef with the loss of his homeboy Lil Pap. Now, I'm not saying it's related to the Lil Durk King Von situation at all. I'm just saying that it's odd in the way that it took place. It reminded me of something that would take place in Chicago's drill scene, right? Where there are no suspects, nobody's been arrested, and somebody lost their life in broad daylight, and it was obviously a planned and targeted hit. You know what I mean? So it's a wild situation, and I'm not saying that Lil Durk is involved in it. But man, for somebody to be saying, see me in the streets, that could only have horrible repercussions if that's followed up with anything like somebody really seeing you in the streets. Especially when we see some of these guys aren't playing about their lyrics and what they're saying. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that Lil Durk would stoop that low to start, really getting at somebody on a street level. Because to be honest, this should be above all these cats. Lil Durk should be above this. NBA Youngboy should be above this. Rondo should be above this. But when it comes to, this whole rap persona, your bravado, you want to be the baddest dude, you can't take no losses in front of the fans. And the fans will hold you to any L's. And nobody wants to take a L in this situation, so things could get out of hand. Now, hopefully, this isn't NBA Youngboy. I would like to think that NBA Youngboy is still in Utah, working on music, making sure that his next release is going to be some hot music for the streets. But we've known that he had to, really get rid of his social media accounts because he was prone to go live and say whatever and do whatever. And he wasn't scared to snap on anybody. He snapped back at people like Jake Prince. He snapped back at people like Floyd Mayweather. He's said a lot on social media in the past. Now, since then, he's mended those bridges. I don't think he has an issue with any of those people. But it's probably the reason why he would have a burner account, and maybe part of the reason why people really believe this is him, right? Now, it didn't end there. He put out another post. Now, in this other post, he allegedly said this. He said, "Old, think he slick, stop watching me fanned out." So basically saying, yo, this cat think he's slick, stop watching me fanned out. Now, this sounds like it's a direct response to Lil Durk's post talking about he'll mess up your release date, son. Now, when Lil Durk put that post out there, so let's look at the Lil Durk post again. When he put that post out there, he didn't name anybody. This could be broad. This could be for the whole music industry. He could be just sending shots at the entire industry, putting them on notice that he's got a lot of pull and power in this game when it comes to dropping and when it comes to release dates. And nobody could deny that because Lil Durk is out here doing big numbers, doing big streams, and making things really happen in this rap game. He's no bum, you know what I mean? But when you're talking about an NBA Youngboy, you're talking about a worthy opponent if you've ever heard of one, you know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
NBA Youngboy has a huge fan base, and this could get crazy. But I doubt you'll see Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy drop on the same day. Even though in the past, remember, there's been positioning and stuff like with King Von's latest release. It dropped on the same day that NBA Youngboy and DaBaby dropped their album. So it seemed like there was a little bit of competitive nature there, and nothing's really wrong with that. And for Lil Durk to stick his chest out and say, hey man, I'll mess up your release date. The streets ain't safe for you. You know what I'm saying? He's letting it be known that, yo, he's got some pull. And if you drop on the same day as him, you're really trying to test your fans to see if they're really as loyal to you as you think they are. Because think about it. If you have a choice of picking which product, rarely people listen to two albums at the same time. They'll maybe catch one on the next week or the week later or whatever. They usually spend the whole weekend listening to that one product, and he thinks he's the better choice, it seems, from this post. And as I said, he didn't say any names, but he was probably putting people on notice that, yo, I got a lot of pull in this rap game right now. And in this response, if this is NBA Youngboy, it seems like he's being kind of disrespectful and saying, yo, stop watching me. But it's obvious they're all watching each other. Rondo, from his response to Lil Durk a few days ago, is obviously watching what he posts. Lil Durk is obviously watching what Rondo posts. And NBA Youngboy is watching all this play out as well. Now, another thing that's a little bit confusing, though, is Lil Durk recently posted this right here. Lil Durk said this. He said, "If I don't say it out loud, it's not real. Stop clickbaiting, smirk, throwing up." Back to the album. So letting it be known that a lot of the reports, a lot of the blogs, a lot of the things that were being said in the last few days about his alleged back and forth with Rondo might be clickbait, might not be real. And if he didn't say it out of his mouth, out loud, it ain't real. Now, with that being said, it was oddly placed, the post that he made right after Rondo posted that he was dropping the album. And then the back and forth posts seem to come one after the other. So I don't know if people are clickbaiting or if they're reading into what you're putting out there, and it seems to line up with an ongoing situation between the two camps. Now, to be real, I think that Lil Durk, NBA Youngboy, Rondo, they're all good at their profession and what they do. They're all capable of having their lion's share in the rap game. But it seems like with this bickering back and forth, fans are really starting to see that, man, these cats are really keeping an eye on what each other are doing. Call it competitive nature or just call it being interested in the marketplace that's out there. Regardless, they've got their eye on each other. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, but y'all tell me in the comment section. What do y'all think, man? Y'all think Lil Durk is playing this off as, yo, I ain't talking about NBA Youngboy, I ain't talking about Rondo, I ain't talking about none of them, and he's sincere? Or do you feel like he's just trying to let people know he's back on album mode and to be expecting a new project coming from him? And what about that burner account? Do y'all think that's NBA Youngboy? Or do y'all think that people think it's NBA Youngboy and it's not? With that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.